Guys, welcome back to another episode of Imperial Diecast. And let's be honest, when was the last time I reviewed a Jada car? Probably like 3 years ago, right? It's been a while, but here's a brand new release that I thought looked really flashy, so I had to get it. Now, Jada is known for making movie cars just like Greenlight, but I think Greenlight does not have the license to the Fast and Furious and Marvel franchises, which belong to Jada. So, Jada has been making many cars related to these movies, although the Marvel cars they've designed were never driven by the characters in the movies. I think what Jada tried to do here is assign a car to every Marvel superhero that looks a bit like them, and give it a special livery that looks like the costume of the superhero. Now, these are somewhat expensive actually. If 124 cars go for around €20, these cost 35, which is basically 118 territory. However, they do come with a sculpt of the superhero, a static collectible that has a basic level of detail, but a decent paint job, and while you can't tell that this is Chris Hemsworth, you certainly can tell that it is Thor from the Marvel comic books. So overall, the figure looks decent, Mjolnir is also correctly shaped, and the sculpt even comes with a base. And Jada decided that Thor's car should be a Dodge Challenger. Can't blame him. It does give me Thor vibes, although it could have also been a car for Iron Man, but Jada gave Iron Man the 2016 Camaro instead. This, on the other hand, is the 2015 Dodge Challenger, which started out as a concept back in 2006 and went into production in 2008. And over the past 15 years, they've only made minor visual changes to it, mostly in the form of making the lower front grille wider and changing the taillight from a single light bar into two separate ones 2015 onward. Maisto made a 118 version of the 2006 concept, as well as a police interceptor, but I don't think that they ever made the production street version in 118. They did in 124, but not in 118. But Solido has made the street version in 118. This, of course, is the 124 version, and I have right here a 124 version by Welly. The Welly has excellent details, which is why I bought it instead of the 124 Maisto, but as you can clearly see, the Welly is underscaled. It is smaller than 124, probably 125 or even 126. Now, the Jada 124 Dodge Challenger looks to me as if it has the same detail level as the Maisto 124, but obviously is in a really awesome eye-catching livery. So let's take a closer look. Now, if you don't know this, the current gen Dodge Challenger is known for having holes inside its headlights for airflow, meaning the headlights are just ring-shaped LEDs. So, in a bizarre way, having headlight pegs would have actually made the front look more realistic than having no pegs. But I'd still say the headlights look decent on this car. The textured front grille looks good, and also comes with the SRT branding. Unfortunately, you can already spot the first few paint imperfections right here and down here. This one should be pretty easy to correct with just some black marker, but I think the one on the top requires some rubbing alcohol or something. Now, if we move on to the hood, you can see that we have the 2015 Hellcat hood, which had one scoop in the middle and heat extractors on either side. However, these vents actually are body colored and do not have a black texture. Unfortunately, I'll have to send this model back because quality control on these Jadas is not that good. As you can see, the dashboard is made out of red plastic and it has a huge scratch. This is the kind of stuff that you can't just wipe away or something. There's no fix for this and it just looks horrible. So that's the reason why I decided to review it before sending it back. Now the hood opens, but as you can see, it is supposed to open this far up. But if I let go, it doesn't stay open on my model and closes halfway down. In terms of detail, they've carried over the same red interior plastic onto all components surrounding the engine, which is kept in chrome, and this is supposed to be the Hellcat Challenger's supercharged 6.2-liter Hemi rated at 707 horsepower. The Hellcat can accelerate from 0 to 100 kph in 3.8 seconds and has a top speed of 320 kilometers per hour. And speaking of imperfections, over here you can see 3 silver dots, and they're not supposed to be there, because if you look at this side, there aren't any. So, yeah. Also a couple of scratches here. Not very good quality control for an otherwise really cool looking livery. Which brings us to the side of the car, and again, the livery looks really awesome here as it changes into a sort of wing, which I think were on the helmet of Thor in the Marvel comics. Chris Hemsworth doesn't wear a helmet in the movies now, does he? Now down here it says The Mighty Thor, and up here we have the SRT logo. We also get a gas cap over here, which they could have painted in silver, but unfortunately didn't. And now let's take a closer look at the wheels. The wheels look quite detailed, but unfortunately no front steering on Jada 124s. However, we do get red brake calipers, and the brake discs even have slotted and drilled ventilation detailing on them. But the discs do not move through the calipers. And the front and rear overhangs have orange painted indicators. And up here, of course, another iconic thing is that the roof is made to look like the silver buttons or shields or whatever they are on Thor's costume. So that also looks nice. Now moving on to the back of the 2015 Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat, you can see that the back is different to the 2008 to 2014 versions where it had like one huge light bar. Here we have 2 taillights, and now because of the way the trunk opens on the 2015 Challenger, these taillights further get split into 2 parts. Now even on this 124 model, what I like about Jada is that they actually make the trunk openable. So that is nice, and inside it's painted red because of the plastic interior, and it's decent sized, but there's nothing special inside. So the problem, however, is that when you close it, you can see that the taillight on the left does not align properly. So considering that these taillights are actually basically just glorified stickers instead of separate plastic pieces, they could have gotten the alignment better by sticking them properly, but they didn't. And in the middle, of course, we get the Dodge badging, but we do not get a license plate. However, we do get the SRT branding on the top right of the spoiler. As for the exhaust pipes, they are not colored in. And taking a look at the interior of the 2015 SRT Dodge Challenger, I don't know how else to put this, but this is like a really red interior, made out of like really cheap plastic. And while they did manage to get, for example, the seat detail pretty okay looking, it's just the fact that the color and the texture that they used make this look really cheap. If we take a look at the center console, you can see that we do get a sticker for the LCD screen there. Well, it's kind of hard to read what's written there. It's about as sharp as I can get it. But for example, the surrounding air vents are not painted in black. Now you can do this yourself with a Sharpie, but I mean, I would have appreciated it if Jada had done that, You can also see the handle for the glove compartment there, and another vent over here, but it's just that like everything looks so cheap here. Although we do get a nice looking shift stick right there in the middle, which is made out of chrome, but I think this is an automatic. I'm taking a look at the interior through the driver's side. So yeah, I mean, it's just very bright looking plasticky red. I guess it sort of works with the blue exterior, but this is not a car that you should sort of look too closely at, because then you will notice that they could have used better materials. Steering wheel looks okay. Doesn't have a Dodge or an SRT logo on it, unfortunately. And of course behind it we have the gauge cluster, which is a sticker, but that's because this is an LCD panel on the 2015 Challenger. Oh, and down there we also get the floor pedals, and you can also see some buttons here. You even have some cup holders there. I guess the interior can get the job done, but it's really not something that I would write home about. I'm now taking a look at the bottom of the car. Not much to see here. I mean, you do get some detail for the limited slip rear differential. And then over here it says scale 124, 2015 Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat, used under license, Jada toys, made in China. So that's about it. So I hope you guys liked my review of the 2015 Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat in the Marvel Thor livery. It's definitely an interesting Jada model, and perhaps it'll be rare to find one day. So that's the reason why I picked it up, but unfortunately, some of the flaws on the dashboard and the exterior paint blemishes were the reason which convinced me to send it back. Oh well. Hope you enjoyed it. And take care. This is Imperial Diecast, signing out.